by no means. Yeah, don't cash the check. It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cash the check. It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cash the check. It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cash the check.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 to the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR race.
Welcome live here at Daytona International Raceway. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty coming up into the booth here for tonight's I've Got Ballz 250, the third annual running of this event here. These guys just now getting open qualifying up and out of the way as they get ready to get this race going here tonight.
Yeah, we got a loaded field for tonight's event at the old Daytona tonight, not the new one. We're on the old bumpy surface that everyone has known and loved for so many years. Tonight we get to take the Gen 6 cars here for the first time, really in ever, at least that I've seen. So it's going to be a very exciting night with how many participants we have in tonight's race.
Here tonight we've got an interesting lineup of drivers, as you mentioned, a very big field, professional drivers and everything in between. We've got real life drivers, pro sim racers here on iRacing, and a couple amateurs along the way, but all of these guys here ready for 100 laps or more with green-white checkers here. We will have green-white checkers in this event in the case that we need them, so everyone is set and ready down here at the track. These guys just now, like I said, getting open qualifying up out of the way. You are tuned in live on Checkered Flag Interactive. This is big here tonight, Shane. This is going to be exciting. I wish I was down there at the track, but then again, no I don't, because up here in the booth it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those races where you're just going to have to hold your breath the entire time around the track at every lap. You just never know what can happen here at this track. Someone bottoms out, hits a bump, the whole field could be gone. It's just going to be one of those nights where you're going to have to watch the entire time, no breaks.
There, as you watch some of these guys go around the track for what we have going on, still open qualifying. This is the third annual I've Got Ballz 250 here. This time is the first time Checkered Flag Interactive has been bringing it to the guys at home. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty, like I mentioned, up here in the booth. Again, held at the old Daytona here, the old one. The one with all of the bumps and the bangs and the, I mean, you look right here at these cars in open qualifying right now, these guys already jumping all over the place. So once we get all of these cars, almost about 30 people, I do believe, maybe even more, will be taking the green flag in just a few moments, just a few minutes left of qualifying here. The things, I mean, you cannot say it enough. Brendan McGee always puts on some of the best hosted events here on iRacing, and this one will hopefully not fall short.
Yeah, it's just, when you go to super speedways, you never know how they could be, but Brendan McGee, he just, I don't know what he's got going for him, but he just puts together some of the greatest races we've seen on super speedways using all kinds of different cars and tracks, and like I said, the first time I think they're coming here to the old Daytona for the I Got Ballz 250, so I think it's going to be an exciting time, and hopefully we're going to see some racing that we've seen here in the past before.
A lot of drivers have a lot of different strategies going into this race. They've talked about it. I've talked to a lot of these drivers, and we've got motors blowing in qualifying. No harm, no foul. You don't want that to happen in the race, Shane. And I'll go into some more of the details as the race gets ready to get going here. But these guys all set and ready to go here. They've put a lot of different strategies. Some drivers plan on sticking around towards the back. Some guys just say, hey, I'm going balls out and let's go up to the front 2 and maybe even 3. We've saw some 4 wide racing here in the practice events.
Yeah, and I think especially the thing to look at is going to be the surface of this track. It's very old. It's going to be a handful to hold a 3 or 4 wide situation. It probably is going to almost be impossible at one point. You're just going to have to ride in line at one point in this race. It's so difficult to be down there and ride over 100 laps on the bottom and have to deal with the bumps.
$20 to the winner of the race, and then there will be 2 $5 purses given to 2 random drivers that finish inside the top 6. $5 to a random driver inside the top 15. And then $5 to the driver with the least amount of incidents, 1 lap down or less. And then another $5 to a driver inside the top 10 if there are less than 3 cautions throughout the entire event. There are 44 drivers total that did end up signing up, and so far quite a few of them have showed up. And then you see up on the ticker the top 10 will be highlighted, the positions in red. The number of the car will follow after the name. And these guys just have a few more moments left in the open qualifying before they will start getting down onto the grid, and we will be getting the green flag for some racing here at Daytona International Speedway. We're going to have multiple in-race reporters here today, and while we've got a few moments, I think we might see if we can get some of them up in the booth. Blake Reynolds, a defending champion for the I've Got Ballz 250. He'll be one of our in-race reporters here tonight. Also joining us up in the booth, we're going to have Philip Kraus up here as well, and I do believe Corey Heffley will also be another one of our in-race reporters here. So while we have a moment, let's go get our first one, and it'll be the number, it will be Blake Reynolds once he gets his mic back. I guess he put his helmet on, forgot his mic, so let's see who else we've got there. We've got Philip over in TeamSpeak, so we'll pull him up to the booth here. Hey Philip, Steve Bonesteel up in the booth. Do you have a copy? Well, he's sitting there. Well, everyone's talking about him right now in the YouTube chat. I guess he is off taking a quick bathroom break or something. Ran to the little camper's room, if you know what I mean. And we'll see if we can't tune in with him a little bit later. Open qualifying is now officially over with, Shane, and these drivers will be getting down onto the grid within about 30 seconds. Before that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, get everything set and ready to go for the green flag. Do not go away. Checkered Flag Interactive will be bringing you the green flag in just a moment.
Welcome back here to Daytona. Before we get started, let's go ahead and take the time to go through the entire starting lineup for tonight's I Got Ballz 250 here from Daytona. On the pole, Cody Dutton along with Justin Michael complete your front row. Corey Wharton with Justin Bishop complete the second row. Corey Heffley with Evan Malason complete the third row with Cody Erdman and James Wenzel on the fourth row. Starting ninth is Nick DePalmo and Nicholas Ward round out your top 10. Defending race winner Blake Reynolds and Chris Oberland are 11th and 12th respectively. 13th, Timothy W. Smith with Brandon Smizer to his outside. 15th, Nick Turbuck with Tyler Gibbs in 16th. Philip Kraus will start 17th and Mike R. Johnson is 18th. Brennan McGee will start 19th and rounding out the top 20 will be Tyler Heed. Danielius Dermitis will start 21st and Jeffrey McClintock will start 22nd. 23rd, Luke Crutchfield and Roger Siebert will start 24th. And the last row of the race for tonight's event, Joshua Witherspoon and Hayden Repass complete your final cars in tonight's event.
Now, Shane, these guys rolling down the back straightaway. What are some of the keys to this race here? What are these guys going to have to do to get the win?
Well, number one, keep that car clean. Don't get tore up early. It's 100 laps, and it could even be more. Like you said, if we do happen to use those green-white checkers, so we definitely keep that car clean. Don't have to deal with damage. That would definitely ruin your chances. Also, try and keep as much track position as possible. Being up at the front is a lot safer, in my opinion, than being in the back. Because if you're up front, you certainly are in front of the wreck. And if you're in the back, you certainly are going to have to go through the wreck at some point. So definitely stay toward the front and keep the car clean, and you should have a great chance to win tonight's event.
These guys just moments away. Brennan McGee will actually be up at the front row for winning in the shootout event last Monday. So here with the pace car lights off, we are set and ready to get the green flag for the I've Got Ballz 250, the third running here, January 25th, 2015. We are racing.
Looks like the 8 car of Cody Dutton on the bottom there, pushing, I believe, the freighted auto parts car, to the lead, and Brennan McGee falling back a little bit third.
The field already starting to get a little bit strung out early on, but right now just taking a look up towards the front. These guys 2 by 2 rolling down the back straightaway.
Yeah, that's Corey Heffley on the inside there, and he actually now is going to be abandoned by the car of Cody Dutton, and they will go to the outside side by side, almost to back to 10. These guys look pretty racy early on as we come to the finish line to complete the first lap here.
The number 8 of Cody Dutton will lead the first lap. You see these guys rolling through the tri-oval, getting a little bit jumbled up here and there, but these guys mainly 2 by 2, but almost up in the wall, going into 1 and 2. Very bumpy here. This setup is not meant to be an easy one to drive. Going to be a challenge all race long for these drivers.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of drivers working their way to the outside line. You might see it going into turn number 3. Yes, you do. They're going to stay on the outside line. The inside, pretty bumpy. Looks like those guys aren't comfortable down there. They're going to stay up high where it's a little bit smoother, and it's easier to control that car early on.
A wad of cars still in the tri-oval there, almost going 3 wide. The top 5 and almost now the top 6, all single file there. A few stragglers left down on the bottom of the track, struggling early on to get back up there. That will be Corey Heffley now squeezing up into that top line. It looks like that car is just bouncing around quite a bit here along with most of the other drivers. That splitter's going to end up hitting the pavement, and you're going to get tight. Turn 4 here today is going to be a massive problem at some point. I can predict that. Number 3 isn't up in the wall. Looks like he's just going to bounce off and keep going.
Seeing everyone start to bunch up on that inside line. Watching the 47 of Chris Overland. He's been making his way up.
The 3 cars goes around.
10. And just as we say that, the 3 car is in the grass. Also, the 57 slides into pit road, no caution.
We'll pull up a replay and take a look at what happened. No caution, and there's the caution just now. The 3 car, the Napa Auto Parts Chevy SS, just got turned around coming off the corner. He got up in the wall, bounced off, but then found more trouble.
And it looks like, Steve, exactly what you were talking about. Turn number 4, the bumps on the bottom, the cause of that wreck.
Just taking another look at it right there. The number 57 down on the low side gets into those bumps, gets really tight after clipping that apron, goes up the track, and unfortunately the 3 car is the only one that gets super major damage, I guess. And that's going to be pretty detrimental, and we'll see how things go here. But early on, troubles for the number 3 of Jeffrey McClintock.
Yeah, I guess we were kind of lucky that wasn't more cars there, because usually when that happens, it could be several cars, if not the big one, as we like to call it at super speedways. So having only about a car or 2 involved in that, not a bad situation. It's early on. I'm pretty sure that was just an honest mistake. It is the apron on the bumps and stuff. Really hard to handle a car down there, especially when it's hitting the ground. It won't turn, and lesson learned there early on.
It's those mistakes, though, that are going to be costly for drivers throughout the entire race, Shane. You get into a bad accident early on, no reset for you anymore, and you're going to find yourself struggling for the rest of the race.
Yeah, early on though, at least the couple laps that I saw, and I'm pretty sure you saw as well, Steve, was pretty jam-packed considering they were just riding on the outside. It was pretty exciting seeing some of these guys come up through the field from their starting spots. We've got several guys who started outside the top 10 that have already made their way up into the top 10 and are looking like they're going to have some fast cars for tonight's event.
Of course, everybody out here on the same fixed setup designed by Brendan McGee and his team here for this race, and it's been worked out for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. Just some minor changes this week, and his idea to get it a little bit adjusted in turns 3 and 4 with some with some slight spring adjustments to help it take those bumps a little bit better. It doesn't appear it did too much.
I think it's also one of those things where a lot of these guys don't have a lot of experience here. I know when I first joined iRacing, this track was long gone, and I actually didn't get a chance to race on this track till this past year when they actually pretty much took the dust, blew the dust off of it, and actually put it out in the official schedule. So maybe some of these guys don't have a lot of experience at this track, and maybe just don't understand that the turn 4 is so treacherous when you get in those bumps, and it can cause the car to push up that much and get into the car on the outside lane.
Luckily, Shane, it could have been a lot worse than it was, and I'm sure these drivers out here, they realized they got very lucky that it happened coming out of the corner than it did in the middle of the corner. If the caution happened in the middle of the corner, they would have had nowhere to go, and it would have been big-time junk for everyone right behind that. So now we're under our first caution here at Daytona International Speedway. We're going to head off to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in just a moment on Checkered Flag Interactive.
it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 to the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Back live here. The pace car lights are off and the field is doubled up, ready to take the green flag, this time by these drivers after an early caution here at this very bumpy racetrack. These guys already starting to get acquainted with the type of racing that they might be seeing throughout this event. We're only 8 laps into this race and these guys have already seen some absolute carnage early on.
Yeah, and I think the interesting part to that is that it just got underway, but it's not going away anytime soon. That was pretty minor in my opinion. It's about to get a lot more wild. Maybe not at this restart, but definitely later in the race. It's the pace cars through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to get the green flag this time by for the first restart of the race.
Cody Dutton and Brennan McGee leading them down again for the green flag here. Coming to lap number 9, the pace car will be making the hard left down on pit road. The green flag is in the air. We are racing here again at Daytona.
Huge jump for the 8 car of Cody Dutton as he swings to the outside in front of Brennan McGee, the inside line. Besides, Cody did not get going very well there. It's going to leave the outside as preferred groove to be in here as we go through turns 1 and 2.
Taking a look right now, the bottom line is starting to get a little bit of a run. Justin Michael with a little bit of help from James Wenzel on the bottom line, trying to get that run going. It's going to take a few laps to get that bottom line established. You see Philip Kraus in the back of the field there doing his blinking thing like he usually does. Getting that run here in 3 and 4, though, that number 14 is trying to avoid those bumps. Now he's going to bring it down to the bottom of the track and see if he can't get that run with some help from the number 43. Bump drafting will not be very effective here with all of those bumps. You'll basically just jump right over someone's bumper the way these cars move around.
Yeah, he's got the 43 of James Wenzel behind him, but like you said, Steve, bump drafting, very sketchy, if you could say, really to do, especially in the turns. It really isn't going to be a big help like it is at the newer Daytona or Talladega per se. As you can see, they fall back there because the outside line's got momentum, steaming down the back straightaway. Brennan McGee and Cody Dutton pacing the field early on.
You see most of the field single file already. Take a moment and crank it up with checkered flag interactive. See there, these drivers just doing an absolute beautiful job early on, keeping their cars in a pretty big pack so far. This is where pack racing is going to be completely prevalent, and even though the high line, which is unusual here, is being utilized completely, you see early on though, the number 14, I do believe he got that damage from some of the bumps in the corners.
Yeah, it's very possible. Could have bottomed out there, bent up the front of the nose. Nothing that I don't think the crew could tend to the first time it does come down pit road. These guys will have to pit eventually, which brings up another interesting factor, is tires. Do you need tires here? To be honest with you, that's a good question, because these cars going around these bumps really does seem to tear up tires as the caution's out again.
Drivers already trying to save it towards the back of the field there. Joshua Witherspoon with heavy front end damage to that Army Ford Fusion there with the Toyota logo on the back for some reason.
Yeah, it looks like him and Nick DePalmo got together in a turn number 1 there.
Pulling up the replay up on your screen, you see a little bit of netcode kind of got that one kicked off. And Philip Kraus sneaking by that one, and these guys with some heavy damage on the front of the car, and not really sure exactly how bad of damage that would have been for the other drivers if they wouldn't have been able to save it like they did, but they did a beautiful job getting those cars back under control after making contact. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it just seemed like those two guys met in the middle and unfortunately got together, caused some heavy damage to both cars, and that will by far be our second caution there. And unfortunate there for some of those guys, just riding the back half of the pack, trying to stay out of trouble, and instead they are the trouble there for the second caution.
Just want to thank you all for tuning in live here to Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty up in the booth bringing you the action just like we do on almost every other day of the week here for the third running of the I've Got Ballz 250. A big event here brought to you by Brennan McGee, as it is for the past 3 years, of course, but Brennan McGee is known for a lot more than just this event on iRacing. His guys and his friends always seem to put on some pretty exciting events here, and the I've Got Ballz 250 is just one of the biggest, if not the absolute biggest.
So we see several cars coming down pit road here, either for damage repair or just, for instance, strategy. I guess we'll see if these guys take all 4 tires or if they elect for just fuel only. See some of these guys taking just fuel only as they roll out of pit road, so a little top off there for most of these guys.
A lot of drivers just taking fuel and getting up and out of that pit road there. You see a lot of guys not even in their stalls for more than 8 seconds.
And that tells me right off the bat that they're not worried about tire wear, or they're not worried about the condition of the tires lasting longer. They feel like they're just going to go ahead and take fuel only here and just keep the same tires on the car.
That's not going to be the case for very long, Shane. Tires do wear out pretty quickly here with all of those bumps. How could they not? The track temperature and the ambient temperature has gone up 2 degrees since the drop of the green flag, so things are getting a little bit warmer here at Daytona.
Yeah, definitely add in the hot temperatures with the slick bumps we got around this track, and it's a handful. So definitely, you go out here and win tonight, you did not win it the easy way. I don't care if you got help or not. Winning here is definitely a huge accomplishment, because you can now say, I have tamed the old Daytona. So definitely something that everybody in this field wants, but only one driver is going to get.
Again, $20 will go to the winner of this race here, and then 10 $5 purses given to 2 random drivers inside the top 6, and then another $5 to a random driver in the top 15, and then $5 to the driver with the least amount of incidents out of all the drivers on 1 lap down, or of course on the lead lap, and then another $5 to a random driver inside the top 10 if there are less than 3 cautions. However, we're already working our second caution here tonight so we would have to go the rest of the way without a single caution.
Yeah, which unfortunately probably won't happen, but was just a nice incentive thrown in there just in case.
And it's one of those things where that last caution, it was at the tail end of the field, so not really sure why it had to happen. Well, of course it didn't really have to happen at the end of the field. These guys just need to get up in line and run a little while. There's nothing wrong with running 2 and even 3 wide here at Daytona. I mean, take a look at where these cars are right now. You could fit these things 3, 4 wide. And while you couldn't maintain 4 wide very well in the corners, you could at least do a 3 wide situation here pretty well. While the bumps are pretty hard on your car, this setup, while it's hard to drive at the same time, you can pretty much keep it in a nice line if you're careful with your steering input.
Yeah, definitely, and just goes all back to some of that experience input I was talking about earlier. Do these guys have that experience of racing side by side, if not 3 wide here, at this track, in this setup, in this car? Obviously not a lot of time to practice, and what I've seen so far is these guys up front look pretty comfortable, and the guys in the back don't look nearly as comfortable. So that's going to be something to note as this race goes on.
Just want to update you guys on one of our in-race reporters, Blake Reynolds, in the number 66. He's down there in 7th place right now outside of the camera view. You see him there in the number 66. He's doing pretty solid right now inside the top 10. He's currently sitting in 8th position, actually, so when this gets back to green flag racing, he's going to be down on the inside line. He's probably going to be one of those drivers trying to either get up out of this front pack or maybe even get up to the high side.
Your leader, the 57 of Corey Wharton, is the only car that did not make a pit stop under this caution. He did make one on the initial caution because he was involved in that wreck, so I guess his team electing to just stay out here, take the track position, knowing that he already has a little bit more fuel than he started with. So they will go ahead here and will bring the field to the green flag.
Right now the grid cycling through inside line and outside there through the top 10. Just taking a look at who's still up there currently as they get ready to get the green flag here. A lot of big names still up towards the top 10. However, who's in the top 10 right now on lap 17 will not matter. In about 50 laps, when we're halfway through, we're going to see if we can get some green flag pit stops. They do not have full fuel loads here in this car. I do believe they're running 16.5 gallons or somewhere around there, so probably about 7 laps cut off of their fuel window here. So we'll see how it goes here, but the pace car lights are off. We are doubled up, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Shane, for this restart.
Corey elects the inside lane for the restart as the pace car gets ready to pull off. There it goes. And green flag quickly out in the air. We're back racing.
You see these guys 2 by 2, already drivers making big moves, trying to get up out of that bottom line early on. You see the driver that just moved up in the Valvoline Chevy all the way now up on the outside line. The number 32 is going to try and see if he can give Cody Dutton a little bit of a push there for the lead. Bump drafting's not always the easiest thing here with all those bumps like I mentioned. There's the number 32 looking low now in that Chevy SS machine. Brendan McGee, though, on the back bumper of the number 8, giving him a little bit of a shove going into 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's Evan Manlason on the inside there, but Brendan McGee and Cody Dutton seem like the two who are most comfortable with each other as they almost make contact there. Maybe 3 wide in the back half of the field there, but those two up front seem the most comfortable, and that's why they're up front right now, leading 1 and 2.
We have drivers all the way down on the apron because they got loose there on those bumps. Giving such a big old shot there really just does not always work out. You run out of room, and then you've got drivers trying to make the pass on you, and you have to drive your car down onto the apron. That's exactly what you saw there on the front straightaway, although everyone did a great job keeping their cars under control here as we complete lap number 18. Now we're on 19 and a half, I guess, and these guys quickly making work up on the high side.
The second group behind Cody Dutton and Brendan McGee is Nicholas Ward and Blake Reynolds, and they are quickly closing up to the front two, and I think they're going to be pretty content to ride on the high side here and log some laps.
this tri-oval. I know a lot of drivers who have raced Talladega this week in the A Open or the A Fix Series complain about that bump in the tri-oval. Well, I dare you guys to head out here in the Circa 2007, which is actually closer to the 2005 configuration of this track because it was so bumpy. iRacing ended up having to change the configuration of some of the bumps after they laser scanned it. So this track is actually a little less bumpy than it was originally here.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think that it's even more bumpier than it is right now at this track, which is just absolutely amazing considering how that was one of the most iconic surfaces in NASCAR at the time was the old Daytona. And definitely something ironic and iconic, you could say at the same time, because we're racing here tonight and at the same time it's an old surface.
You see though, most of the field again single file here, and this is usually that point of the race where a lot of drivers will start to get ready to ride because they know that they need to make their car last to the end and they don't have enough restarts or resets on their cars to keep taking it into the wall and damaging it, so they're just going to ride.
Saw the 14 adjusted Michael make a little contact there with another car, and that's the 83 car of Tyler Gibbs, and they sorted out nice and steady there. Chris Overland moving into the picture there in the Menard Chevy. Some guys trying to come to the front as well. Here comes Brandon Smizer to the inside. He's all alone, no help, but he's going to try and make some moves anyways as he ducks back up to the high side.
The high line here is the preferred line because you don't have to turn it quite as hard as you do when you're down on the bottom line, which makes it a lot harder with all of the bumps because your car almost kind of it's really hard to explain the effect. You ground those shocks as much as you can to keep those tires on the ground, and you still find the push. If you don't run the right shocks, you're going to find yourself up off of the ground at times, and you're going to find yourself pushing. So no matter what you do with the setup here, as Brendan McGee and his team were making it this week, there was no way they could avoid those bumps in 3 and 4.
And the pushing effect's only going to get worse as these tires wear out. The front end's going to want to go straight in the middle of the corner, and that's not good when you're going over bumps because that's basically a double whammy, if you would say, because then the car's really going to push up to the wall, and that's when we could really see some wrecks later on in this event. So every lap these guys log, it's less fuel and less tire wear, or more tire wear you could say, and less tire available to their cars to use.
You see that bottom line again, making runs. I do believe that's Chris Overland in number 47, drifting up, almost getting in the door of Brendan McGee there, coming onto the tri-oval.
Yeah, they're going for the lead here. Chris trying to get everything he can out of turn number 4. All good there, but Brennan drops to the inside here. He wants the lead from Cody Dutton, and it looks like he's going to get it into turn number 1.
Impressive move, but Chris Overland now on the outside. The number 8's going to look in the middle. We've got contact. The number 20's all the way down to the grass. This is going to be interesting watching it in 3 and 4. Still 3 wide.
Hey, just hold your breath right here. Can they sort it out? It looks like everyone's good so far. We go back to 2 wide racing, and it's anyone's game off for turn number 4 between Brendan McGee and Cody Dutton.
We go up in the chopper here, the checkered flag interactive chopper, always strong up above. We could beat these cars if we really wanted to, but we're going to keep the camera on them. Chris Overland looking underneath that number 8. I mean, these guys, if they keep bumping like that, they're going to need themselves a hotel room, if you know what I mean. But these guys, 2x2 up at the front of the field, incredible racing early on. 25 laps, we're a quarter of the way through this race.
Yeah, definitely getting down to it. Here comes Blake Reynolds, the defending winner of this race, to the inside. He wants
cars in the wall. We got trouble.
Huge wreck in the back. The 20 car of Brandon Smizer's hard in the wall, along with several others, as third caution's out.
Smizer.
The 20 car is still sliding on his side.
Oh, and the 57 gets him, and now Smizer's flipping. Pulling up the replay there. Let's take a look at how things were going on that back straightaway. Cars moving all over the place, and the number 20 got up under the wall, and the 83 followed him right through, and then he gets wall riding going here, and then he just kind of sits on his door and rides it down there. And then he gets slammed right there by the 57. Hard hit for him. Hop on board the gyro cam. Take a look at that. Don't look too much if you get motion sick, because that is a nasty ride.
Yeah, that is once again the bumps claiming another victim, and a couple of victims there as it takes out a couple more cars after those guys spin off the wall. Unfortunate circumstance there into turn number 3, but that is what this place is known for, wreaking havoc to the cars that race here, especially on corner entry there into turn number 3. That one going to be probably one of the biggest wrecks of the race so far.
Track temperature still sitting at 67 degrees, so things have not got any hotter down on the racetrack, at least for the time being when you're talking weather. However, these tempers might start to get flared up for these drivers that just got involved in another caution, with drivers just losing control of their cars and getting up into the wall. However, we're under our third caution here tonight. Checkered Flag Interactive is going to take a quick commercial break. Do not go away. Shane Doherty and Steve Bonesteel return from the booth here at Daytona International Speedway.
It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cash the check. It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't.
Welcome back live here at Daytona International Speedway. These guys under caution for the third time here tonight for the I've Got Ballz 250, the third annual event here, hosted by Brennan McGee. And these guys here bringing it to you. Pretty exciting race so far. We had a nice little green flag run right there. A couple cars got tight going into 3 and 4 and got up into the outside wall.
Yeah, and I think definitely that is one of those wrecks that the bumps claimed, and it will definitely not be the last wreck that the bumps claim here tonight. We are past quarter way in this race, but we've already seen 3 cautions, and most of them have been related to the bumps at this track. And it's just, if you're gonna win this race, you're gonna have to beat these bumps. You can't let the bumps beat you and ultimately ruin your race.
While we've got a hot second here, Steve Bonesteel up in the booth. Do you have a copy, Philip?
Possibly.
Possibly? Well, I think you do. I see you there. You're going to be on the inside line here on this restart, it looks like. What are your thoughts here going into this race, and how have things gone so far? And did you expect anything different?
No, I didn't really expect anything different. All I did was plan to ride in the back the whole race, but that hasn't really worked. I'm just sitting up here in 9th right now for no apparent reason.
How's the setup feel? And I don't know if you ran any of the test events, but have you noticed any changes with the setup since you ran it last?
I couldn't run the test events because I had something on my slate at that time, but a little tight when you're on the high side because I accidentally scraped the wall when I entered the turn a little bit too high, but other than that, it's okay.
What's your plan here going into this run? It might be one of those times where now that it's mid-race, that this run might actually start to spread out and we might get some green flag racing here.
Yeah, I'll probably just keep on doing what I've been doing, just try to ride, not race too hard, and I don't really want to ruin the car on lap 29 of 100.
Alright, sounds good, Philip. Good luck here on this restart.
Thank you.
Pace car lights are off, Shane. We are set and ready to get the green flag here. We'll be going on to lap 30 out of 100 here. 30% through this race. Some easy first grade math for you there.
Yeah, definitely. There always helps out when you're taking it out of 100 as the pace car gets ready to pull off. Blake Reynolds, now the leader. Cody Dutton is on the outside of the front row. In second as the green flag flies. We're back racing once again.
These guys already giving it a little bit of pushing, some bumper humping here at Daytona. Where's the bumper humping song from Norgard when I need them? Here we go. The bottom line for the first time here tonight coming into play. The number 66 big time push from Chris Overland there, taking the lead right after the restart.
Yeah, Cody Dutton did not have anyone pushing him on the outside lane. That's why he falls back to third. And now we'll see Chris dive to the inside. He's going to push Blake up to the lead, but now he wants to lead himself. So they work side by side into turn number 4, and Chris gets really loose.
Yeah, Chris got very loose there on the bottom of the track. That was a very good job. Oh, we got trouble.
14 and the 08 get hooked. Will they save it, the 08? They're on the bottom, but the caution's going to come out anyways. I don't think any other cars besides those two got involved, but we'll pull up the replay and take a look.
The number 57 also ended up getting checked up into that, I do believe. We'll have to see what happened. The 57, he got pretty lucky there. He just slowed it down. It looked like he got involved on the telemetry data. He just stopped. However, the number 14 of Justin Michael, he did not get so lucky. He was the cause of the caution. Got extremely loose, as a lot of drivers did. You saw the number 8, Cody Dutton, going all over the place there. He just walls it there, gets into the 08, and into the grass. Both of those cars go. Shades of Jordan Worth here, and I say, oh man.
Yes, definitely. Oh, that really does apply to that right there. It's just crazy racing we've been seeing here at Daytona, but it really does apply when you're talking about a track like this. So much legacy and so much wheelman status, I guess you could also say. It really requires a lot of effort to get around this track with the bumps, and really starting to show here. The guys up front even struggling with their cars and when they're trying to take the lead.
Top 5 there on your screen. We're going to step away for just a moment. Do not go away. Checkered Flag Interactive will be back for the restart. Back here live from Daytona International Speedway. These guys will be getting the one to go this time by 34, now 35 laps into this event. The I've Got Ballz 250 brought to you by Checkered Flag Interactive.
Couple string of cautions here on these previous restarts, so I guess the strategy would be, what do you do here? We did have a couple cars come down pit road, including Cody Dutton and Chris Overland. They are trapped in the back half of the field, so interesting to see what those guys do. But I mean, eventually when you start seeing these cautions continue to come back to back to back to back, I mean, it's got to be putting those guys' heads, you know, what's going on, and maybe should we calm down here?
Yeah, we're working our fourth caution now, 15 laps under caution, so things better start getting single file and maybe even too wide, and these drivers need to calm it down, because there won't be anyone left at the end of this if 2 or 3 cars get taken out every 10 laps or so. Philip Kraus, one of our in-race reporters, also is now up into that 4th position there on that outside line.
Yeah, talking with him, I guess he kind of just felt like whatever's happening is happening. Well, he's up to 4th now, so he's probably got a nice little smile on his face, and he's up there, the highest he's been all night. See what that 19 car can do, the Twitter Ford Fusion.
Yeah, that machine was painted by Matt Muir. If you're interested in a paint scheme, and most of the time he does it for free, head over and look him up on iRacing or Facebook, and he can get you a pretty good looking car. But here the pace car lights are off. These guys set and ready to get the green flag. Going to be going green now on lap 36. The pace car makes the abrupt left-hand turn, and we will be getting the green flag. We are racing.
A monster jump for Blake Reynolds as he rockets to the front, a couple car lengths lead over the entire field. He swings to the high side, now back to the bottom. He's trying to decide which lane to go in, and he's swerving back and forth.
Oh man, that's going to get him wrecked out there if he keeps driving like that, that's for sure. Only 36 laps into this event. If you want to be sideways in front of the field, so be it. But don't do it while you're in first, because we're going to look 3 wide, and we're going to stay 3 wide.
Corey Wenzel on the inside lane decides, I want the lead, or at least try for the lead, and they're going to single out Blake Reynolds. And Philip Kraus gets in the wall there. He keeps it going. Good save for everybody, and we're back to 2 wide.
Things getting loose. You've got, wow, these drivers doing the best they can. We almost saw big time junk there, as it did look like, I thought it was Corey Heffley who almost went up into the outside lane. He's now going to squeeze up there so he doesn't have that problem. But now Blake Reynolds almost getting up into the outside wall. Evan Melanson, though, is now in front.
Yeah, some of these guys are entering the turn a little bit too high, and it's causing their car to move up and get into the wall, and that's a dangerous situation. We saw Philip do a nice job, keep that car out of harm's way, but more times than not, if you come off the wall, you're probably going to get run over from behind, and we definitely don't want to see a big wreck be caused by that. So I think you're going to see some of these guys kind of back off from the top wall, give it an extra couple of feet, and maybe around the middle or something like that.
Majority of the field is now single file, but a couple guys trying to get down on the bottom. We're on board with one of those guys on the bottom just for a brief second there. Now take a look on the outside, 3 wide. You've got some of those drivers that were involved in earlier cautions trying to make their way back up through the field.
Yeah, definitely we got Brennan McGee, Chris Overland, trapped back there, Cody Dutton, Tyler Gibbs was also up toward the front. He's back there as well, around 10th spot. Plenty of cars just trying to decide, do I want to drop back to the back half of this pack, or do I want to go up front, try and challenge for the lead?
Right now, the number 32 is maintaining up in front, though Blake Reynolds is on his back bumper, pretty much allowing him to stay there. The way this track works, you can pretty much make it happen wherever you want. If you want to make the pass, just throw it down low, use the side draft there. A little bit of bump drafting going down into turns 3 and 4. The number 43 making an appearance now up in the front of the field now, up on the high side. He's going to be coming up on Blake Reynolds' back bumper. We'll have to see what he chooses to do. And Blake Reynolds going to look low here in the tri-oval, and it's going to be door-to-door, drag racing into turns 1 and 2. I don't know if Blake Reynolds will be able to get back up on the high side. I don't really think he cares.
No, I think he's going for the lead there, and he's going to do whatever it takes, even if he can't slide up there. James Wenslow's going to give a little bit of a push to the 32, and looks like they're going to be side by side still.
You're watching the I've Got Ballz 250 here live on Checkered Flag Interactive. Lap 40 out of 100. These guys starting to rev it back up after a couple cautions there. We've had 4 cautions, you can see up on the top of the screen. 4 cautions, 15 laps under caution. These guys doing the best they can right now, putting on a show. Chris Overland making a move to the bottom side.
I think we're also starting to see Cody Dutton as well. An interesting note, those guys pitted under the last caution, and they took 4 tires. Those tires starting to make a difference. They've made their way all the way up into the top 5. They seem like the cars to beat right now, but they're kind of trapped here as Blake Reynolds is still on the inside.
Another chance to crank it up here live on Checkered Flag Interactive. You see these guys 2 by 2 up in the front of the field, and everyone towards the back is just hanging on for dear life, just waiting for the big one. Only 1 car, actually now 2 cars are actually off the pace and pretty much out of the contention currently. Luke Crutchfield, the number 16, he's sitting in there in 25th position. He's got 5 laps down to make up, so while his car is running full speed, he's got troubles.
Finally, that 8 car, Cody Dutton, retakes the lead. That car is looking really strong, and right now trying to be the favorite. At least he's led some laps early on. He came down pit road, like I said, took 4 tires. He's back in the lead. He's got the freshest tires in the field, and he's now got the best spot in the field. Up front, clean air, nobody around him. But here comes Chris Overland, and he's going to put it to the outside of Blake Reynolds. I don't think Blake was expecting that, but he makes the move anyways, and side by side for second.
They don't call it the I've Got Ballz 250 for nothing. These guys out here showing all the balls they have. Some of these guys, I guess they took my balls. I would never make any moves like this, but I hope they didn't take my balls, Shane, because that's kind of weird. You never know, though. Here on iRacing, some guys are into some pretty kinky things. You never know what conversation under those caution laps are going to be like. Here is these guys now. This number 66, Blake Reynolds falling back. Chris Overland looking for the lead.
All of a sudden, the top 3 have kind of broken away from the rest of the pack. Evan Manlayson on the bottom, trying to make things work with no help. And it looks like he will take the second spot from Cody Dutton with a strong push forward on Chris Overland.
Big time move for Chris Overland there, the number 32, giving him a nice shot on the bottom line there. Now moving it up middle lane. These guys got the run. They're going to move back up in the high line here. Down the back straightaway, these guys single file for the top 4, but then you've got Blake Reynolds underneath the number 43 trying to make something happen. Now you've got Cody Dutton in the 8 Budweiser Chevy making a move down there. Now the 47 being a Tony Stewart making the block there down through the middle of the corner. He's not going to be able to go anywhere with that move. Now the 47 going up towards the wall. Cody Dutton loose!
He gets a nasty case of bumper hook, and he's going to head it into the head-on in the wall. That's a tough break for Cody, and that is just a classical case of some iRacing bumper hook, as we say, Green.
He did a beautiful job not coming back up in front of the field, overcorrecting or anything like that, but sometimes I almost think a lot of drivers just kind of wish they did to have big junk and maybe get that reset. Of course, that's probably not what he was thinking since he's good friends here, but big times blocked by Blake Reynolds there.
Yeah, he almost got himself turned, but he makes the move. Everyone allows him to get in there, and now he goes back to the bottom, so obviously trying to get the fastest lane. Trying to be really aggressive early on, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a lot of cars in this pack. One wrong mistake, and this could be most of the field we're talking about.
I mean, these guys 2x2 towards the front of the field, anything can happen, and it can just be big junk taking out everyone from first on back. Once these tires start to wear out, like we saw that last run, you never know. You're going to go into that corner, and it's just simply not going to turn, and the guy on the outside is going to turn you, but it's not going to be the direction that you necessarily want to go in now. Evan Malayson there on the number 32, getting out on the high side due to the push from the number 66. There's the number 43 as the 66 gets into that wall, almost 3 wide.
This is going to be an interesting situation coming up. Cody Dutton is slow. He's in front of the field. There's nowhere to go. It's not like at the new Daytona where there's a high side dedicated to lap cars. That's not the case here, so this could get interesting as they're going to catch this lap car.
Taking a look right now, the 47 and the 08 moving up towards the higher lines. Now the 08 going underneath the number 47. That would be Cody Erdman there in the 08 trying to make that run. Tyler Head making an appearance towards the front of the field there in the Pepsi Chevy. Gonna think about giving him a bump, but he's not gonna do it. The 32, Evan Malayson there on the number 32, giving him a push. The number 47 with the HD Radio Network on the hood. Gonna take the lead here on the outside. Christopher Overland is going to lead this lap.
Here they come on the lap car of Cody Dutton. What will they do? They're going to try and give some room. It looks like they're going to at least attempt there. And some confusion as Evan goes high and Chris stays low to try and pick up Cody, but Cody's a little bit slow. I wonder what they're doing there, and apparently Chris is going to push Cody.
Not exactly sure where that strategy comes in to the smarts of anything, really. Cody has a little bit of a problem with that car. I guess no damage on it getting that reset. However, now he's in front of the field, and he's going to end up staying on the lead lap, Shane, because of the number 47 giving him that push. But he's going to find himself where drivers aren't going to really like that. He's a lap down in front of the field here, as Overland almost goes underneath him.
I think you got to go back to that pit entry, I guess, for Cody Dutton. How he got onto pit road legally and how he did not speed amazes me, because I was sure expecting he was going to have to serve a pit road penalty and he'd easily go a lap down. But yeah, I think Chris has got a plan to maybe push in front of these guys, get a caution. He'd just get waved around the pace car and get that lap back easy without having to take the lucky dog. But right now, if there was a caution, Cody would easily be the lucky dog since he's the third car in line.
We go back up into the chopper here, taking a look at what we have towards the front. Corey Heffley there in the number 52. Big time block by Dutton in that 8 car coming up in front of the number 32 Valvoline machine. Now we'll see what the number 32 does here. And the little short straightaway going into 1 and 2. The number 32 is going to stay on his back bumper here. Now he's going to dive underneath. And now we've got Blake Reynolds getting sideways. He saves it.
That was a great save. He's got some left front damage, but we stay green. The field knows that that was a great save, and wow, that kept a lot of cars going straight.
Yeah, Shane, that could have been absolute carnage there. Like we've said a couple times here today, these tires start to heat up. The track temperature's getting a little bit warmer. The sun's glaring down on the speedway. Fuel burns off. The cars get a little bit lighter. The tires get warmer and worn out from all the bumps. These things are going to be doing a little bit more sliding around as this run continues on.
Yeah, definitely. Blake's one of those guys who's been out here for a very long time on the same tank of fuel, the same tank of tires, or not the tank of tires. You could say the same set of tires. I mean, exactly, but I mean, the thing probably is handling like a tank for him right now as those tires are wearing out, but at the same time, he is still back up there in the top 7 and digging hard.
I tell you what, yesterday we did a race for the Bull Ring Racing League, and Hank Hill, he had his car pile. Oh, we've got the 47 sideways. He's going to save it.
Little Kyle Busch action right there from Chris Overland. They don't call him a pro champion for nothing, and he makes the save and continues on. Excellent.
I cannot believe that number 47. We were down there, and I guess what you could call the gopher cam, and we saw the door of the number 47 coming straight at us.
Yeah, definitely. If iRacing had those sparks that came out from underneath the car, I guarantee you there would have been a shower of them because Chris Overland put on his Kyle Busch reenactment there and decided to take the car for a spin on the apron and track, and he saves it easily there, and it's an impressive amount of driving there, and he's still got a race car to play with, so we'll see if he can get back up there.
Action still at the front, very tense between all of the drivers here. We are over halfway through this race, completing lap number 52, now on lap 53. These guys set and ready to, like I said, this is a longer run. However, these guys aren't taking it easy. They're racing incredibly hard here at Daytona International Speedway. The Circa Daytona from 2007.
Driver, I want to point out right now, Brandon McGee, he restarted easily outside the top 10 on that previous restart. He's up to second right now. He's the third car in line because Cody Dutton is a lap down, actually trying to manually get that lap back, but we're coming up on another slow car. See, the leader has formed the middle to outside there, trying to go by the slow car on the inside. They will do that successfully as it actually ends up pitting there, but Brandon McGee made his way into the top 3. That car looks strong.
Just want to thank you all for tuning in live to the I've Got Ballz 250 here live on Checkered Flag Interactive on our YouTube channel here. Plentiful amount of action up at the front. Cody Dutton now on the high side. He's a lap down. The number 52 is your leader, but we're going to be going 3 wide into 3 and 4.
We got cars coming in this time. Some guys throwing the hand out the window saying, I'm coming to pit this time. Green flag pit stops at the old Daytona. Now this is something I haven't seen. We're going to get ready to see it this time by. So round out of turn number 4, we'll see who comes down.
Looks like the number 32 and the number 66 will be the first 2 and the only 2 to get those cars woed down on the pit road. Pretty clean entrance for them, but we look back towards the front.
It looks like Philip Kraus and Chris Overland come as well, but as you said, Steve, back up to the front. Corey Heffley and Brendan McGee battling for the lead. Cody Dutton is on the tail end of the lead lap at the moment. But like you said, he's trying ever so slightly to get a caution here, get back around the field and rejoin on the lead lap, and he is fighting hard right now. He's doing everything he's supposed to do. Try and stay in front of these leaders.
Doing a beautiful job, though. Very lucky, too, that he was able to stay in front of these guys and not really find himself in a bad situation. Doesn't look like anyone from the top 5 or 6 there will be diving down pit road this time by. Pit stop should happen within about 5 to 10 laps at the max here. I don't see anyone with enough fuel to go more than 10 more laps. Maybe some of the guys that pit on that last caution having a little bit more fuel than everyone else, but these guys out here right now all running for track position aside from the number 8 who is in front of the field, and he is on the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, interesting when I saw some of those guys who came down pit road. It looks like some of those guys took tires, and I think their plan is that they're going to pit now under green, and they're going to go ahead and not stop the rest of the race. They're going to take those same set of tires, the same tank of fuel, and they're going to try and finish the race on it. And they're going to try and see if they can get some track position and ultimately try and win the race. So, interesting call. It's what we usually see on the iRacing service on the usual speedways, but this being the old Daytona and all the carnage that could ensue, it's an interesting call.
Taking a look at the second pack right there, Tyler Gibbs and the number 83. He has some help from the number 43 of James Wenzel, as well as the number 27. Nick's doing a good job hanging on there. Nicholas Ward in front of these guys, getting a little bit of a bump draft there going into 3 and 4. These guys have not come down pit road quite yet. I would like to mention Corey Heffley and that number 52 machine. He has gone down pit road a whopping 8 times so far in this race.
And I think the front of that car can speak to that. He had some damage. I don't know if he sustained that under this run or beforehand, but he's up there battling for the win at the moment. With that kind of front end he's got, that's impressive as they come up on Chris Overland. Looks like that strategy is going to get him lapped. He's going to have to stay in the draft and hope these guys come down to pit road.
Very incredible racing so far, and now with the pit stops coming down and these guys starting to spread out even more, we'll really have to watch closely and see how this changes the perspective of the racing on the racetrack. Will we continue to see these guys battling 2 and 3 wide, or will we start to see a single file line with only 3 or 4 cars in it? You really have to expect the latter, because once you come down pit road, the majority of the time, unless you do absolute perfection and everyone does, you will come out pretty spread out.
Yeah, I think that's the disadvantage, at least that Chris Overland had. He came out, he had no one to draft with, and he fell back behind the pack. And now he's back there in the pack drafting, but is 1 lap down.
Corey Heffley, Tyler Head down on the bottom here. Cody Dutton still in front of the number 94. Brennan McGee there, the Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry. The number 52 starting to wash up the track a little bit there, and he's going to go up in front of the number 8 Budweiser Machine. And then they're going to be looking almost 3 wide in the Tri-Oval, and I take that there. And we are 3 wide in the Tri-Oval.
Yeah, Cody Dutton is not going to give up. He wants that lap back. He doesn't care if it's for the lead or for a lap back. He's going to battle as hard as he possibly can in the outside lane. 3 wide, no room for error. On the bottom, you hit 1 bump the wrong way, and all these cars could be in for a huge wreck. But it looks like they make it through there pretty easily.
These guys all over the place. Contact. Cody Dutton in the wall. Christopher Overland with contact. Caution's out.
And that would be taking it a little bit too far there for Cody Dutton, and tried to make something happen in the middle and ultimately got hooked into the wall. That will be the end of his night. No longer has that reset. Interesting to see if Chris Overland's going to have that reset, because he's got some substantial front end damage. We'll go ahead and check out the replay.
We'll head up into the chopper for this one. You see Brennan McGee there looking in the middle, and then the number 8 comes in the middle. 52 closes the door. Nothing wrong with that. End of the wall for him. Christopher Overland, minor contact, but that's going to be enough to slow him down, and the number 8 does some donuts there in the grass, and caution's out. Now, the bad thing for Christopher Overland is he made contact there, got an incident point. He will not get the wave around or the lucky dog.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting point, but I think Chris has got something more to worry about than just getting his lap back. That would be the front end of that car. How is it now? Does he have that reset? Fix that car instantly.
Now here, as we're under our 5th caution here tonight, we're going to step away from the broadcast really quickly. We've got about 40 laps left, and we'll probably have around 35 when we get the green flag here. Do not go away. Checkered Flag Interactive returns from Daytona International Speedway in only a few moments.
It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cast a check. It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cast a check. It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cast a check.
Back live here on Checkered Flag Interactive. These guys going to be getting set here 2 to green, and we'll be getting the green flag in just a few minutes. Not much happened on pit road. Justin Michael, however, taking a little bit of strategy with no tires and just fuel, and he'll get out there with his reset, so an undamaged car now up in front of the field. And I do believe Corey Heffley got that car fixed as well.
Yeah, and looks like that car is definitely looking a lot better than it was before when he came onto pit road. Also, another important note to mention, Chris Overland did have that one reset. He is 1 lap down, but that car is fixed, and he is one of the cars eligible for the lucky dog if we so get another caution.
Looking for the field, through the field, some of the cars that we saw out front. Timothy Smith there in the number 24 machine. He was the leader at the very beginning of this race for a little while there, and now he's all the way back in 18th, so maybe a little bit of a strategy call there to get towards the back of the field and just kind of ride.
Yeah, I think the interesting point to point out here is we don't really know if we're done wrecking to the essence of the big one. We haven't seen one yet. In my opinion, that's taken out a lot of cars to be called the big one, but intensity's wrapping up here as we're getting past halfway, or past 60% of the race, and I think these guys are starting to realize there's a lot of money on the line. There is $20 up to the winner, and other additional prizes as well, so you're not just out here on a Sunday evening drive. Let's get up on the wheel and have some fun time here at Daytona.
Just want to thank you all for tuning in live here to Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty bringing you the action here live from Daytona, the 2007 layout of Daytona, so it's a very bumpy Daytona here today.
But the racing definitely hasn't been bumpy at all. It's been absolutely fantastic. Everything, in my opinion, that's lived up to be, and much more, and we're not even done yet. A lot of long ways to go. A lot of cars are going to be making some moves here on this restart, probably another one down the road. You just never know what can happen here. There's not a lot of room, but definitely a lot of drivers hungry for those $20.
I'm going to turn it over to the Crank It Up cameras here for this restart. If you've got some surround sound or something along those lines, here's the time to crank it up. Tyler Head now out in the lead. That number 4 has got a little bit of help from Justin Michael, a leader from earlier on today, also getting involved in a caution. Corey Heffley there in the number 52 on the inside line. Brennan McGee giving him a little bit of a shot there through the tri-oval. The 4 and the 14 there in the lead right now, not going to be given up easily on the high side.
Yeah, I think Brendan McGee's got one of the strongest cars left in the front half of the pack. He was working with Cody Dutton earlier. Obviously not going to happen right now. Cody is in the back half of the field, one lap down. So who is he turning to now? Corey Heffley in the 52 car. Both those cars have been really strong all night long. They're working the inside here, trying to take the lead away, but Tyler Head and Justin Michael up there making it hard for him, and that's what we're seeing here. Philip Kraus a little loose on the inside as well, and these guys are getting a little bit feisty up there for the lead.
Tyler Head will not lead that lap. The number 52 machine of Corey Heffley will lead it just by a little bit there, I do believe. So now as they go through turns 1 and 2, Corey Heffley now on the inside still. Tyler Head with a slight blink on the high side. These guys going 2 by 2 down the back straightaway. Things are still tense at the front of the field.
Little tongue twister there, definitely, and Tyler Head ducks to the inside there. I guess maybe trying to give the 14 of Justin Michael some clean air, maybe cool the motor a little bit there, trying to move back up, but he's going to go ahead and shut the door to Justin Michael. He wants the lead on the outside. He's got some help from James Wenzel, and here comes Corey Heffley back on the inside, and these guys just keep going back and forth.
Justin Michael out in front now with the number 43 for the first time in a little while here. He's up in second place. What will he have in store? The 08 also up there. A different top 3 than what we saw for the entire run that last time by.
And definitely, whoa, here comes the 8 of Cody Dutton. Where did he come from? Apparently that car's handling good. He's all of a sudden coming back and saying, now I want my lap back again. Man, he gets his lap back. Well, you got to watch that 8 car because he is fast. That's the second time he's come through the field and is trying to get his lap back.
Very impressive driving by Cody Dutton there. Even though he did pretty much cause that last caution, didn't get a wave by or lucky dog, anything like that. He says, well, I guess I'm just going to have to drive it up to the front once again and show these guys that I'm here to take my lap back one way or another.
And Tyler Head looks like he's pretty happy to push him on the inside there. Try and get him in front, and looks like he will do that. Be interesting to see what Cody does before. Like we said, before Steve, he did end up causing a caution the last time by, trying to aggressively take back that lap. I think he's kind of learned his lesson right now. We're getting down in late stages, so you definitely don't want to throw it away again, and looks like he'll ride in the outside for now.
Taking a look out of the back of the number 14 there, you see that inside line. The number 43, James Wenzel there on the outside, the first car behind our leader, but he's going to push high in the corner, going to lose a little momentum, and here comes the 43, maybe with a little bit of a bump draft.
And they almost make contact there. There's Blake Reynolds and James Wenzel. But Blake's found his way back up toward the front, the 66 looking strong once again in the later stages of this race. But remember, Cody Dutton's leading this pack. He's off the lead lap. He's 1 lap down. Technically the last car on the lead lap now, you could say. And Justin Michael in the 14 car is currently scored as your leader. Tyler Head on the inside looking for the lead. Both these guys did not lead early on, but they found their way to the front in the later stages of the race.
Brandon Smizer making a recovery. Earlier on, we saw him on his door against the wall for a little while, but now he's back up towards that top 5 in the 4th position now. We'll have to see how long that one lasts. Cody Dutton up on the high side still, trying to make a run for that lap back. Trying to hope for a caution, and it's going to hopefully happen when he's in front of the field, or at least so he hopes.
Yeah, definitely, and it's just all going to come down to the odds, you could say, really. It all depends on where the caution is and who's involved and what it's for. And definitely he's trying to get that lap back, so as Corey Heffley slides up in front, he'll definitely make moves. There he goes to the inside, but Brandon Smizer, another one of those guys coming through the field in the later stages of the race. This time he's on the lead lap. He's in the top 5 right now, and that car looks strong here, peaking probably at the right time.
Getting tight there, Cody Dutton again. He does not want to cause another caution because I do believe that would end up getting him black flagged since he was at fault for that last caution there.
And just as we say that, he makes an aggressive move to the outside and gets that car back in line. He'll look to try and see what he can do next, but it's just a lot of guys racing for different reasons up here. We got guys trying to take the lead. We got guys racing for fun, and we got someone trying to get their lap back up here. So just a lot of chaos going up in front of this pack, and now it's kind of formed into a lot bigger pack, one of the biggest packs we've seen all day.
And while that means there's a lot of tense driving, that also means if there is a wreck, it's going to be an absolute massive wreck. Take a look, though. Brandon Smizer on the inside line, getting a push from Blake Reynolds, a defending champion of the I've Got Ballz 250 here. I do believe he won last year in that number 66 machine, but right now giving a push to Brandon Smizer, a little bit of a pinch down from the number 4 of Tyler Head. Blake goes underneath the number 20. We're going to be 3 wide going on to the backstretch. No, just kidding. Oh, maybe not.
Maybe got it right the first time. Oh, I don't know what they're doing here. They're still going to go 3 wide. I don't think they know they're 3 wide. They're 3 wide, 3 rows deep. Can they hold it?
Very intense. Corey Heffley up against the wall. We got trouble. Big trouble. Here's the big one.
Philip Kraus is gone. But most of the field is too. I did see that car land after it went through the grandstands, but we've got several cars taken up there. That's probably 3/4 of the field.
Gonna have to pull up the replay as soon as Smizer got up towards the lead. Big time troubles there. Breaking it down in slow motion. I don't know where Philip Kraus went, but he is gone.
Oh yeah, that's definitely unfortunate for him, but this replay will show us a lot more about the wreck.
Brennan McGee just getting some slight damage there from the number 43. We'll hop on board with the 43 of James Wenzel down on the bottom. You'll start to see some smoke up on the high side. There it goes. Just nowhere for him to go. And then just big time trouble.
Yeah, definitely trying, using that apron, but just nowhere to go. And trying to pick out if there were any cars that made a successful dive through there, and looks like not many of them. Maybe the 83 car would be another good view to look at.
We really got to take a look at what happened to the number 19 of Philip Kraus there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't really know what happened there. He got hooked, but
he reappeared eventually.
Yeah, he got hooked, but the sim kind of like launched him like into outer space or whatever, and then all of a sudden he came back. That didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, he just vanishes there, and eventually his car just kind of comes back. There it reappears, bouncing down the corner there.
Yeah, that's really interesting there. I don't really think Philip cares at the moment, though. That car is definitely destroyed, and I don't think he'll be tweeting about that, by the way, so don't bother looking him up on Twitter.
Oh, we've got...
Oh, the lucky dog gets into the back of a lead lap car. Wow.
What in the world just happened there? The number 89. First time he's seen anywhere is higher than like 20th position here, and he's just drove himself up in front of the lucky dog car.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense, and Hayden repassing the 89 car is going to get an EOL penalty for that, but what on earth were they doing there? When the lucky dog's coming, you're supposed to stay at least in the low lane or middle. That car goes straight up to the wall as if he's trying to block him, and bam, they make contact.
You see the top 5 on your screen after 77, now 78 laps. Tyler Head, Blake Reynolds, Tyler Gibbs there, and the number 83, Cody Erdman in the 08, and then you've got the number, actually it's going to be incorrect, the number 52 of Corley Heffley will be in that 5th position.
Yeah, they got some timing and scoring to sort out here, especially with the 89 car now being sent to the rear of the field. But I believe what we're going to see is, or no, we're not going to see. I saw Cody Dutton was in front of the field, but he no longer is, so apparently he was not going to get that lap back, so he's still 1 lap down.
We're on board the number 66 of Blake Reynolds, one of our in-race reporters and a defending champion here for the I've Got Ballz 250. Blake, do you have a copy?
I got you, sir.
Well, you're running pretty solid right now. You're up towards the top of the field. How has the racing been the past 50 laps?
Oh my god, it's insane. It's, bottom lane can go, but then high side gets a run down the straight. It's kind of pick and choose where you want to go. I like the bottom, but I'm kind of all over the place. Just picking and choosing.
What do you think these last final about 20 laps will be like when we get the green flag here?
Insane. Nobody's going to give anything.
Compare this race to what it's been like in previous years. Do you think the racing and the setup this year is probably the best that we've seen since the start of this event 3 years ago?
Oh yeah. Last year we were single file and there was tandems involved partially. You could run in a pack, but tandems was the way to win the race. That's how I won the race. But this year, it overheats way too fast, and it's pretty much perfect for pack racing.
Alright, well good luck here on this restart, Blake. You're sitting there on the outside. Good luck.
Thank you.
Now Shane, the pace car lights are off. We will be getting the green flag here. We'll have 21 laps to go.
Yeah, 21 laps to go, but a lot of new faces toward the front half of the field now with that caution, claiming a lot of cars that were toward the front, gives some new life to some of those guys who were in the middle, the back half of the field, who thought they were out of it. They're now toward the front, and they believe that they might have the chance to win the I Got Ballz 250 here at Daytona.
One of those drivers being Dan Elias there in the number 11 machine. He told me before the race his plan was to run all the way towards the back of the field for the last 20 laps. Well, there he is, now in the top 10. Pace car going to make the abrupt left-hander. The green flag is up in the air. Tyler Head is away.
Yeah, still plenty of strong cars at the front half of this field. Tyler Head proving to be one of the strong ones in the later portions of this race. Blake Reynolds, like we said, just talked to him, one of the former winners of this event. He's going to be strong, but then you've got everybody else looking to see what they can do here in the last 20 laps of the race. And we got a wreck in the back. Chris Overland on his side. And the 47 car heavily damaged, and the caution's back out.
That one did not last all that long. The 47 got hooked hard by, I do believe it was the number 98 there, and then he gets slammed into after the caution.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough break for Chris Overland. Saw a car on the apron there, and everyone tried to get by that car, and some overreacted. And see, car got into the wall there and turned Chris around and head on to the outside wall. That's going to be a tough break for Chris.
Tyler Gibbs now up into that second spot here. However, now that we have a moment here, we're going to take a quick second. We're going to hop off to a quick commercial break. Do not go away. Checkered Flag Interactive returns with some more action around the Apex.
It's not over. So don't. By no means. Yeah, don't care.
Back here live at Daytona, Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty back in the booth. We're going to have about 15 laps left to go here once we get the green flag. Blake Reynolds down on the inside of the front row. The number 83 for the first time all race, now on the outside of the front row. A completely different makeup of the whole front of the field here, Shane. Things are going to be getting really interesting if they weren't already here at Daytona for the final laps of the I've Got Ballz 250 for 2015.
Definitely, if you're toward the front of the field, you've got to be thinking several things, but the number one thing, keep the fenders on the car. We're not done yet, boys. This is not the final restart. I don't think so, at least. We've still got over 15 laps to go. Drive smart, put your car in the position to win, and then I guess we'll see who's got the big enough balls to win the I've Got Ballz 250.
I don't know, Shane. It's going to have to take some pretty dang big balls to win this race, that's for sure here. And I don't know, maybe a tank of tires or something along those lines. Who knows? We'll see here as the pace car will be diving off here.
Yeah, you never know. It's just one of those events. So, pace car pulls off, green flag quickly back underway. Blake Reynolds to the lead.
83 completely butchered that outside restart there. Going to check out the outside line. Tyler Head looking to come up in front of the number 83 going in 1 and 2. It's not going to quite happen. 2 by 2 guys twitching around the number 4. Tyler Head getting a little bit loose, looking on the outside line there. Going around Blake Reynolds here. Corey Heffley on the inside giving a big shove to the number 66. Brennan McGee back up there in the picture, as well as the 08 machine.
Yeah, plenty of guys putting themselves in the right position here toward the front of the field. And Blake Reynolds currently in the lead. He's got help from Corey Heffley. They're starting to break away a little bit here. You can push yourself out to a couple car lengths of a lead, get yourself some separation, but then the pack clearly reels you right back in and then tries to get by you, as we'll see here in an instant soon. But Brennan McGee on the inside lane there, if he can get some help, and there goes Danielius to the inside. If he can get up and help Brennan McGee do what he needs to do, I think that car's got a chance to win.
Oh, big trouble!
Corey Heffley gets into the ring. There's plenty of cars also involved. The caution's out.
Brennan McGee.
Huge wreck in the back, and they're still wrecking. Brennan McGee's blowing up.
Oh, and bigger wreck! Big wreck!
And then they wreck after the caution. Oh my gosh. Huge wreck afterwards into turn number 3. We've got to sort this one out.
Gonna look at the replay there. Just absolute chaos. Tyler Head turned Brennan McGee, who barely gets missed by the number 11. Then the 14 gets turned there by the number 43. And those guys pile in. Christopher Overland finally makes it through one, though.
Yeah, he does a nice job there, but there's 2 different incidents going on there, so definitely there's going to be some reviews conducted of that.
Just going to take a look all the way from what started on the front straightaway here. You see Corey Heffley on the back bumper of the number 66 of Blake Reynolds here, going on the back straightaway. The number 52, he's going to look high. Blake's going to block, and there's some lag in between. Then he goes around. And then bigger troubles throughout the field. You see these guys 3 and 4 wide trying to sort it out. And then we hop on board with Cody Dutton. No problem for him to make it through.
And it's just chaos there. All those guys trying to get through the wreck, and then I think they realized, oh, I'm through the wreck. Oh, wait a second, where am I on the track? And then some guys made contact with each other and caused another wreck. And in the instance, they all just wrecked themselves under caution, unfortunately. Plenty of cars had to make some evasive moves, but I don't know if I've ever seen a crazier wreck than that here, and that's definitely going to be classified as the big one.
Just taking a look at all the different camera angles. I mean, just complete massive pileup. Although Blake Reynolds survived through that one to be the leader here. The number 32, Evan Melanson there in second. And then you've got the number 27 as well as the 5 in the top 5. First time we've seen him up there all race long.
Yeah, now even more guys who are in the back half of the field are all of a sudden inside the top 5. And that is an interesting thing to point out because of all these wrecks happening, it's giving more and more chances for those who are taking the conservative approach to this race to get up toward the front. But you're not going to win this race being conservative. That's why they don't call it the I've Got Ballz 250.
We pulled up the number 19, one of our in-race reporters for today, Philip Kraus. He's got a little bit of damage. Do you have a copy?
I do.
Well, earlier you told us your plan was to stay out of trouble, and after about lap 50, you've been in pretty much everything out there. How has the lay of the field and the wrecks played into the damage you have today?
I honestly do not know. I just haven't had luck on my side.
Other than the damage and, unfortunately, the crashes, how has the racing been from your perspective?
It's been pretty good, to be honest. Everyone was pretty respectful for about the first 60, 70 laps, and the past few it's gone a little bit crazy.
That's pretty much what you'd expect, though, at a super speedway race, especially one so big like this one is having a little bit of a connection issue, of course, on pit road. So good luck here on this start. You're going to be towards the rear of the field, but we've got a chance for up to 3 green-white checkers here tonight.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Brendan McGee's not going to allow this race to finish under iRacing yellow flag rules, and that would basically mean you're going to pace, and whoever is leading when the caution comes out is the winner. That's a big false. We've got overtime that can possibly be used if we need to go to that, like you said, Steve, possibly 3 tries at a green-white checkered, and it has been done before. So it's definitely something that they would be accustomed to and they would not be afraid to use if needed. And we're going to try and see if we can get this race finished under the best possible circumstances for not only the viewers, the fans, but the drivers as well.
Again, this is the 3rd annual I Got Ballz 250 here held at the Circa 2007. Cash payouts for the top driver as well as many drivers throughout the top 10. Broadcasted live on Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonestill, Shane Doherty bringing it to you. And this has been a pretty impressive race so far.
Yeah, we got 19 cars on the lead lap, including the number 8 of Cody Dutton. Something tells me restarting in that 6th spot. Look out for that number 8 Budweiser car. He's one of the fastest cars still left in this field, but Blake Reynolds, Evan Melanson, and everyone else up front is definitely not going to make it easy. We are going to be inside 10 laps to go when we get the green.
If you've just now tuned in to Checkered Flag Interactive, you've picked a great day to watch some sim racing here live on CFI. We're going to have about, well, exactly 10 laps to go once we get the green flag here. All of these drivers have put a lot into this race, and it means a lot to bring home the winner here, to be the winner. Blake Reynolds on the front row there in the number 66. He's done it before. Will he be able to do it again?
Yeah, like I said before, this track is a handful to drive. They've already been out here for 90 laps. You can imagine that most of them are hyped up for this race to be over with, or at the same time trying to see if they can win this thing. Because 90 laps doesn't mean anything right now. It's down to the last 10. Do you bring it now, and can you be the person to win the I've Got Ballz 250 here from Daytona?
Once again, we're going to head over to the cameras mounted up on the walls and the various cameras on the cars. Crank it up for this restart for what could be the final restart, but we'll have to see here. Pace car is off, green flag in the air, crank it up. Absolutely incredible racing going on here as we're up in the chopper now. The number 32 going up on the high side of Blake Reynolds for the lead. Here, Cody Dutton and the number 8 making a huge comeback. Look at the number 27 also. I mean, these guys, we have not seen a lot of these drivers up towards the top 5, let alone the top 10. And now these guys all battling for position, all battling for the win. Who's got the biggest balls here at Daytona?
Nick DePalmo as well in the 33 car was involved. One of the first wrecks, he's back up there. Tyler Head and someone else goes spinning. That's Luke Crutchfield. And a caution is thrown out here. We're not going to finish here. We have plenty more to go.
Tyler Head still spinning a little bit. We'll pull up the replay. See right there, Tyler Head's down on the bottom. Currently pushing it through 1 and 2. That number 4 machine just looks to get a little bit tight on the exit of the corner. A little bit of a bump from the number 3. Gonna tap that 16 car, and he's gonna go sideways there. He's gonna get knocked again by the number 4 as the number 4 gets a little bit of air down on the grass, and he's just gonna go sideways down there. And unfortunately, that might just be the final blow to Tyler Head's chances of getting the win here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think he was looking to crack open a nice fresh Pepsi in victory lane. That unfortunately probably will not be happening here unless we go to some green-white checkers, and then I think he still has a chance, but even then he's going to have to come through quite a lot of cars to do that, which we've seen before, but there's not a lot of time to do that, so definitely a disappointment there for those two, and you know, but that was all. That was the only 2 cars involved in that caution. There's still everyone up here up front, and they are eagerly waiting to get this race underway, but now we've got to face under caution.
We're going to head off to a quick commercial break, and we'll be bringing you the restart here. Do not go away. Checkered Flag Interactive, Steve Bodensteel, Shane Doherty will be back up in the booth in just a moment.
It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cash the check. It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cash the check. It's not over, so don't, by no means. Yeah, don't cash the check.
Welcome back live here at Daytona International Speedway. Going to be getting 1 to green with, by the time we hit the green flag again, we'll have 4 laps to go.
Definitely still have a chance to have a caution come out and maybe have a restart, but more than likely I think if a caution comes out before the race is over, we would be forced to use our first green white checkered, and that would mean overtime. So definitely this is going to be an interesting restart. Cody Dutton's going to be on the outside of Evan Layson here. That 8 car has been strong, but does he have enough to hold off against some of these guys around? Blake Reynolds, former winner we should say, also in third there. Nick DePalmo also up there as well. Plenty of guys still there in the mix and that could win it here if something could happen. So definitely a lot of guys in it, a lot of guys eager to get this restarted.
Shane, what do you expect to see here once the green flag drops for this final start?
It's just looking at it right now, I've got my money set on the 8 car. Cody Dutton, that car has been awesome all day long, but the question is are we going to see a caution? I think is the better question to ask. I would say yes. I'd say in the last 4 laps we will go to overtime, and I think that 8 car is going to have to earn it. After that, Steve, well, your guess is as good as mine.
I guess now would be an appropriate time to tell these drivers down on the track to pull those belts tight one more time. Make sure those steering wheels are on the desk properly because this final restart's going to be exciting if it is the final restart. Either way, this one's going to be a good one.
It's Evan Layson, Cody Dutton on the front row. Pace car is off, green flag's in the air. Who's going to win it?
The 32 didn't get the best of restarts there, stuck on the bottom. Cody Dutton getting a good run on the high side. The number 27, he's going to get a shove from behind, but Blake Reynolds there, a previous winner here, giving the number 32 a shot there. Evan Layson getting the run through 1 and 2. Look at the 66 there jumping around, battling for the lead here.
And they're getting all kinds of antsy in the middle part of the pack. I smell a caution coming, but definitely you want to be the leader if we get a green-white checker. They're looking to be 3 wide, still double file, heading into turn number 3.
Dan Elias looking on the high side, that number 11, after being involved in that last caution. Now he's towards the front of the field. Can he make something happen? We haven't seen him towards the front all race long. This could be his chance over from across the ocean into Britain, I guess you could say. He might be able to pull a hat trick off here, but right now Cody Dutton in front of the field.
Yeah, he is right now, and if you're Evan Layson or Blake Reynolds, you're going to have to force that 8 car off of his line. You cannot let him run the line he's trying to run. He's on the inside. You're going to have to force him up, try and get underneath him if you're going to want to win this race. You're simply just not going to pass the 8 car.
Contact!
Evan Layson to the inside, to the double white yellow line, and I'm telling you, that's how you're going to have to win this race. If not, Cody's got it. They're trying.
We're going to be coming to 2 laps to go here at Daytona International Speedway.
He looks high, he looks low, block there, block again, he's on the
There's
inside.
no way we're going to make it. No way.
I don't know, they're still going at it, 2 to go. Caution's out. We are going to our green, white, checkered overtime.
Big wreck in the back.
Well, I nailed the prediction, but we're going to go ahead and look back at that wreck first before we discuss further.
I honestly don't even know. We saw drivers down on the apron trying to do whatever they could. The 98 there gets turned around. The 08 involved, Cody Erdman, he was up towards the front there. We'll hop on the back bumper of Brennan McGee. We saw him having to get down on the apron after getting knocked down and just kind of looking behind him. He wasn't involved in that part of the wreck, although he almost was about to be.
Yeah, that definitely could have been bigger than it was, but that was an interesting wreck there. They are not racing for the win, but they're definitely still trying to get a top 10 or whatnot, but Yes, that's going to be an interesting wreck to bring us now to overtime in this race.
It's not very often that you will see overtime on iRacing, and if you ask how we're doing it, we're not going to tell you.
And that's just the power that Brendan McGee has brought to this race, and you got to put hats off to him, because if this was iRacing taking control, this race would have been over. That would have been it. And let me tell you, I would have not been happy if that was the case. Because we have a green-white checkered, man, I don't even know what to tell you. This is going to be amazing.
I mean, some people don't think that the cautions and the wrecking is exciting. Well, it's not necessarily all that exciting, but all of the racing leading up to it sure is.
Yeah, we've come to this point. At this point, you've got to bring it now. I don't care if you've been involved in a wreck earlier. I don't care if you made a mistake. Put that all behind you right now. If you're Cody Dutton, and I know he got in a wreck, and I know he was one of the cars that caused a caution, he's not thinking about that right now. He's thinking about trying to win this race. He's up there in the lead, but, I mean, it's not going to be easy for him. He's got a couple of challengers behind him. He's got Blake Reynolds, Evan Manlayson, and plenty of others back there who want that win more than him. So we're just going to have to see, ultimately, out of each power, who's going to be the strongest.
Oh, man. That's all I need to say.
I think another thing that I'm really impressed with in tonight's event, there's so many cars still running. We've had a lot of wrecks, but having that reset feature available in this race has left 20 cars still running on the lead lap, having a chance to win the race. It's just an amazing point, and it's helped us bring us to this nice finish we're about to see.
Hopping back on board with the number 66 of Blake Reynolds. You see his windshield there, pretty dirty after getting a lot of smoke and debris on it over the past few laps. Blake, do you have a copy?
I got you, sir.
Well, you're sitting there in third for our first of 3 green-white checkered attempts. How has this been going these last few laps? Absolutely incredible racing.
Well, caution came out, and the 33 ran into the back of me. I don't know if you saw that. I've got damage on the rear end, they said. I don't know if I'll be able to do well, but anyway, racing, again, incredible. I cannot explain how amazing this is. So much fun.
With this race coming down to an end, what are you willing to do to get the win?
I'll go with anyone who's fast. And hopefully get that nice half to the front.
Would you be willing to spin someone for the win here?
Oh no, I don't think it's worth that much.
Well, then that's one of the cleaner conceptions out here. We heard some of the chat between some of the other drivers, and they say, well, I get up to the lead, I'm just going to put him down the apron, put him up in the wall. I've got the balls to do it, and that's what this race is all about, so good luck here.
Thank you.
Top 5 there on your screen. Cody Dutton there in the number 8 machine. Evan Manlayson there in the number 32. Blake Reynolds. Then you've got the 27 and then the number 11 of Danielius Demitis there for that 5th position. So it says 101 laps. That is because we have gone over what we usually would. This is green-white checkered attempt number 1 coming to you.
It won't be this time by, but I believe it'll be next time by. We'll get the green flag here. But if you're Cody Dutton, you're going to be the leader. You'll have the lane choice. I would assume he'll go inside. But after that move to the inside, we saw where he had to block low, had a car trying to pass him below the double yellow line. Do you think, I mean, you have to think that he's thinking about if someone's going to try and pull that move again, because I just don't see anybody beating Cody unless you get 2 partners together and they push equally as hard. But at the same time, I have a feeling Blake's going to probably push Cody out there and try and see if he can pass him, but we'll see.
All I know, Shane, is We have had some amazing racing this week here on Checkered Flag Interactive. On Thursday night, we had the Upper Edge Racing CMC Sportsman Series in the B car at Michigan International Raceway. You and I covered that. Absolutely amazing finish then. And then yesterday, we had the Bull Ring Racing League, and that was an absolutely awesome race. And now today, we have the Rose IndyCar Series and the I've Got Ballz 250. This has been a jaw-dropping race. It's not quite a 10 out of 10, but it's definitely up there, at least an 8.
Definitely, this finish, though, could put it close to that 10 out of 10 range. It's just, there's so many different things that can happen here. You can't even make a prediction, to be honest with you. It's best to just sit back, watch, relax, enjoy. I think we're just going to go ahead and enjoy that.
I really don't know how we're going to end up calling this race here at the end. I mean, I guess what I'm going to do, I'm going to push the talk button, and I guess so are you, and I'm going to watch these guys turn left. But I think the only thing I can guarantee you is that a Chevy or a Ford or maybe even a Toyota will get the win here tonight.
Excellent probability work there, Steve. Definitely one of those three makes will win tonight.
You know, I always knew I was pretty good at math. I just didn't realize it till today.
Definitely as the pace car gets ready to pull off, Cody Dutton, the leader. Green, white, checkered, number 1 underway.
Here we go. We're going green flag racing. The number 8 car gets a huge jump. Blake Reynolds with a big time push going into 1 and 2. If a caution is to come out this first time by, it will actually just be a caution. If it doesn't, they will race it out till the finish.
He's doing exactly what I thought he would, pushing Cody out there, but at the same time, and there's
Caution's
the caution.
out!
And the first attempt is in the books, and we're going to try and see what happened in the back.
Philip Kraus involved in another one here. Looks like the number 98 just got lag shot up into the wall, and then from there on out, it was absolute chaos. The number 24, Timothy Smith, also involved in that one. He got knocked up pretty hard in the wall there. Christopher Overland getting involved in another one as well. So, put it back up on the boards. Another green-white checkered attempt coming to you.
Yeah, that's why we've got 3. One's not good enough, and something's telling me 2's not good enough, to be honest with you. It's just going to be one of those instances where it might come down to luck at this point, because there's a caution coming out. The running order did not change up front, at least that I saw. But what we do notice is that Blake Reynolds will not be behind Cody Dutton on this restart. They will be side by side on the front row.
We're going to head off really quick here, get a drink of water, and maybe even close our eyes and do a little prayer here up in the booth for these drivers. We'll be back when we go green. Back here live at Daytona International Speedway, these guys ready for the green flag, the second green-white checkered attempt of the night. Shane, these guys, Cody Dutton on the inside. Then you've got the number 66 of Blake Reynolds up on the outside here for this restart. Big-time NASCAR coming, like you said, and I definitely agree.
Yeah, we could see some serious moves pulled here that I have a feeling we haven't seen yet this race. It's kind of hard to believe we've seen so much great racing. You never know what one of these drivers has up their sleeve yet. The second green-white checkered. Just have a feeling, like I said before, this might be the one, but we do have that third one just in case we have another caution here.
We're going to head up in the chopper for this one as well. 2 laps on the board here. We'll see how this one goes. Will we see another caution there? You see the top 5 on your screen. The number 11, Danielius, there also looking to make something happen. Outside line and the inside line, pretty much identical start. We are racing once again. Here we go.
Blake Reynolds trying to fit the car between to get to Cody Dutton. Not going to happen. Evan Manlason's going to get to Cody Dutton way before anybody gets to Blake Reynolds. So 3 wide for second, but Cody Dutton's the leader.
Take a look at that right now. 3 wide. Brennan McGee in the middle there. The number 27 up by the wall. The number 66, Blake Reynolds, with no help there. The guys getting squirrely on the inside. Danny Elias getting into the back of number 32 there. A little bit of bumping, still 3 wide, going into 3 and 4. Let's see how this one goes. The number 66, Blake Reynolds, falling off. We're going to get the 1 to go this time by.
Danielius Demetrius is also there on the third on the bottom lane. And you see, and the caution comes out right before it crosses the line. We're going to a third green-white checker. My, oh my, just when we thought the race was going to end, we once again will have another green-white checkered.
Reset the ticker there for you. Nicholas Ward again involved in one of these.
Yeah, that time not of his own doing. He had the 24 kind of slide up out of turn number 4. It's pretty bumpy down there, as we saw. It caused the first caution, and it causes that caution there. Once again, see the 89 also gets some contact as well. That's going to be a 3-car wreck in the back half of the field, though, unfortunately, and that will cause the third green-white checker to have to be used. Well, this is it. When we get the green flag here, that is it. That's the last time the flagman will use it, and then they'll get ready for the white flag or the yellow flag at that point. This is going to be the final attempt. And I guess at this point, when the caution comes out before we get the white flag, the race is over. So definitely we want to see this finish under green, and the first 2 attempts have been unsuccessful.
Man, this has been an absolutely relentless race here at the end. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. Every single lap, something different happens.
And we officially reached over the 2-hour mark here, and it does not feel like 2 hours at all. It's been definitely a long but interesting race. It makes you feel on the edge of your seat each and every lap. And man, I don't even know if I've sat down, to be honest with you, because we are getting ready for probably one of the best finishes ever in the history of the I've Got Ballz 250.
You know, really what the question is someone going to be able to knock Cody Dutton out of that winning position? The only two people I think that might be able to do it is that number 11 and the number 66 of Blake Reynolds, and maybe if Brennan McGee could get up there somehow, some way.
Yeah, Danielius is going to have to push Cody, and then he might have to use the bumper. I mean, you cannot get below him. You know, Cody's going to block low, he's going to block high, and there's going to be guys in the outside lane. If you're going to beat him, you're going to have to bump him. And, you know, you're just going to have to do it. The bump and run, the slide or be slid, whatever racing term you want to think of it. It's just, that's the only way I see someone beating Cody Dutton.
This has just been one of those races that you just don't know what to expect. I knew we'd have cautions here, and everyone really did as well. And no one really knew how many cautions, but here in this race, it's been a race of attrition.
We're still working under caution. Look at all these guys. They're side by side. We are like 2 to green, I believe, and they're all side by side. They are eager to get this thing going. No one definitely wants to sit here and pace. They want to go, 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 get this final green-white checkered underway. But hold on, guys. We got a lap and a half before we do that.
Just want to thank everybody for tuning in live to Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty here. It's been a very eventful race. If you ever need your Sim Racing League broadcast, check us out. Head over to Facebook. Send us email. Wow, I just cannot talk after 2.5 hours of attrition here. But if you need a broadcast done, we have extremely competitive rates, starting at $22 a broadcast and just a little additional fee for YouTube broadcasting to make it a little bit easier for your fans that can't necessarily stream 720 1080p through Twitch. Very busy week.
Excited. Yeah, definitely very busy as well, but excited for that YouTube feature coming out. I know I have one of those, you could say, weaker internets, so definitely having the YouTube watchable feed helps out a lot, and definitely helps the folks out there in the same situation that I am in.
A lot of our leagues that we will be broadcasting in the future tuning in here tonight. I mean, in a few months, Checkered Flag, or actually just a few weeks, when the NASCAR season starts, we'll be broadcasting the WSU Motorsports on Sunday nights. Their league will be the A-Cars here, of course, starting at Daytona and running through the entire season. That's going to be an exciting 36-race event. Also on Sundays, we have the Rose IndyCar Series at 2 p.m. Evan Pasocco, Steve Bonesteel. The Bullring Racing League occasionally on Saturday afternoons and nights. That will be Petey Zeller and Steve Bonesteel. Just a very busy week every single week here. But here, we focus our attention down at Daytona because we've got our final green-white checkered attempt here on the boards.
Who wants to go crazy for $20? We'll just have to see here as the pace car gets ready to pull off. Cody Dutton, Evan Melason on the outside lane. Who's going to win it in Daytona?
For the final time, the pace car pulls on down pit road. We are racing here. Green flag in the air.
Cody does not have help. Blake Reynolds, Evan Melason to the outside lane. Can they clear him? They can.
Taking a look up from the blimp now. Look at the number 32, the number 66, completely breaking away there. The number 11 has to get up on that number 8 machine. He's got 2 laps to do it. Can he do it?
They're wrecking in the back, but nothing going on. They save it. Evan Melason is the winner if we get a caution. He's in the lead, but Blake Reynolds is following him. He's pushing him out to the lead. They're separating themselves from the pack. Can the pack come back? Here comes Danielius Dermitas, as I butcher the name there, and Cody Dutton. White flag in the air. We will see a finish.
Take a look at that. The number 8, Cody Dutton, jumps out of line, ditches Danielius there. What is going to happen here? Danielius got a little bit of help. Brandon Smizer back in the picture here. Final lap.
Oh, and he goes to his friend Brendan McGee to the outside lane. Can they catch him? I don't know if they can. They're fighting for third. It's going to be Evan Melanson and Blake Reynolds. Blake's going to pull to the outside. Did he pull out too early?
Side by side through the corner here. Here the rest of the field comes. Is it going to happen? What's going to happen here? Block on the inside. Blake Reynolds is going to go side by side. It's going to be door to door. Who gets it?
Got it. Oh my gosh! They tied almost. It's going to be Evan Melanson for the win. Have you ever?
Take a look at the replay here. These guys just coming inches apart for that finish. Holy cow.
You got to go all the way to the thousands to break down that finish. That's why I thought they tied almost. But yeah, 8 1,000ths of a second decides tonight's event. Blake Reynolds second. Almost won it. But Evan Melanson with the win in the I Got Ballz 250. Man, oh man, he has just become $20 richer.
I don't know if $20 is all that much richer here. Just take a look at that slow motion shot. I cannot believe that finish. Absolutely incredible.
We talked about Thursday night in the Sportsman Series. That was our best finish. You can go ahead and rewrite that book. This, my friends, is the best finish you've ever seen on Checkered Flag Interactive.
The official results up on your screen now. The number 32, Evan Melanson, got the win. Blake Reynolds, second. Cody Dutton, third. Brennan McGee, fourth. Danielius Demedius in fifth. Brandon Smizer there in sixth position. Number 27 in seventh. And then the number 16 finishing in eighth. That's Luke Crutchfield there. And then the number 5 in the ninth position. Then Joshua Witherspoon. Where did he come from, finishing in 10th?
It's just an absolutely incredible finish. We had 25 cars start, 19 finish. That is a testament to everything that Brendan McGee has put down here in this race, and it's just amazing. This was by far one of the best races I have seen in a while. The finish is spectacular, and this is on the old Daytona. Man, oh man, cannot believe they got rid of this track.
Well, while we have a second here, we're going to get those top three up in the booth. Do not go away. Post-race coverage coming to you. Back live here with the winner, the driver, the number 32. Congratulations on coming away with the win here. Absolutely incredible finish.
Yeah, that was nuts. Kind of had to keep the wheel straight, keep the pedal to the floor, and hope to all hell it worked out good. Before I do anything, I need to thank Corey Wharton.
Live here.
He
Drivers and number 2
completely helped me out.
Coming away with
And I was in like a big wreck and pushed me to the pits. I had the broadcast on. Yeah, I don't know what to say, boys. We don't have much to say. That was just way too much fun. I gotta thank Brennan for putting us on 3rd year in a row, and I've been part of all 3 now. Finally got away with a win. I think it's the first big event that Brennan's put on that I won, so ton of fun. Always good fun.
Well, after a very eventful race, list your favorite thing that you saw out here at this track.
Just the respect from the drivers up front. It was ton of fun. There was a lot of wrecks in the back of the field, but everybody at the front end of the pack kept a pretty straight race. You know, no one crazy. Lots of respect, a lot of give and take. Sounded like a lot of the wrecks were in the back, so I don't know. It was just a ton of fun. Big green flag stretch there. Got some green flag pit stops. Everybody were off sequence. All around, I don't even know if I could single one thing out as being.
Well, before we head off for the night, who do you have to thank for making this happen?
Pardon?
Who do you have to thank for making this happen?
Like I said earlier, Corey Wharton, Blake Reynolds. How can I not thank Blake? That huge push on the restart got me out front of Cody. If I could get past the 8 car, then it was going to be the 66 was going to be my. I also want to thank Brennan again for putting this on and always putting stuff up for us. He's always putting up these big events, and they're always tons of fun to race in. Yeah, just everybody, Brennan, all the admins that helped out, you guys especially for putting this broadcast on for us, is just all around super fun time.
Very awesome. Thanks a lot, and congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. You have a good night.
We've got Blake Reynolds up in the booth, and I do believe Shane.
Yeah, Blake, you got a copy?
I got you, sir.
All right. Crazy finish. You almost came up with it. Take us through that final restart.
Well, we were all planning on the 8 to get a nice jump, but he didn't really that time. And the 11 wasn't on the 8's bumper, so he didn't get a good restart. I was right on Evan's bumper, and I just shoved him all the way. There was no lifting there. And I tried to go outside in a 4, that last lap. There was nothing. Evan had it. And he drove clean all race, and he deserved this win.
Speaking of the drivers, what did you think of the racing out there tonight? I know Evan talked about a lot more respect out there. What did you realize?
Respect, yeah. Some of the guys in the back, I heard there wasn't very much respect, but up front, tons of respect. There was no door banging, there was no putting in the wall, and we had a 3-wide finish, and that just, there was no touching it, no contact. I love that.
Yeah, this is your guys' first race on Checkered Flag Interactive, and it's going to go down as the closest finish in Checkered Flag Interactive's history, and it's just an amazing event. And who do you want to thank for finishing second here tonight?
Let's see. I got to thank Brennan, holding the event. Who else? So Evan for giving me the draft in order to do so. That's about it, I'd say. If I'm forgetting someone, I'm sorry.
All right, and it definitely came up close there, but I think a second, you'll definitely take that.
Oh, yeah.
And now, we had Blake Reynolds up here on pit road. I don't know where he went. All right, Blake Reynolds, you got a copy?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you didn't get the win, but you came very close. I mean, how did that final lap, how did those final restarts go for you, and do you really regret not being able to get the win, or was it just worth the experience?
Oh, well, the racing was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. And Evan, he drove clean all race. Like I said, just nice. I liked it. And I'm completely okay with second. I won this last year. I already got the win, and Evan deserved this win.
Now we've talked about Daytona and the stock car here all race long. Of course, that's what we've been racing. But what are your plans next weekend? Do you plan on dabbing onto the road side of things and tackling 24 hours at Daytona?
Yes, actually, we've got a team, Apex Autosports. We're fielding a McLaren and an HPD. The McLaren and the Roar, we were leading by 50 seconds, and we got taken out 5 hours in. But we definitely had a really fast car there. And I'm hoping that next weekend we'll be able to finish 24 hours and hopefully pull off the podium, or better, a win.
All right. Well, before we head off for the night, who do you have to thank?
I don't know. I guess I'll thank my other team, Spartan Motorsports and the Apex Motorsport Group, for just giving me cars that I run and the other series.
All right. Well, good stuff, and congratulations on getting a pretty solid finish here today.
Thank you.
Well, Shane, that wraps things up here from Daytona International Raceway, or I guess it's Speedway. I said that twice now tonight. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, man.
Just one of them nights, but yeah, what a finish. This one went a lot longer than expected, but hey, it was worth it. One of the best finishes I've ever seen on the iRacing service in the 3 years I've been here. And just super speedway racing is so amazing, especially when you throw in the older version of Daytona, the older configuration with the bumps, 100 laps, so much that could go wrong, and just everything playing out to the end, helping Evan Melanson to win tonight's I Got Ballz 250 from Daytona.
All right, well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in live here on Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonesteel and Shane Doherty brought it to you. Tune in later this week. We've got plenty more action coming to you. We'll see you next time.